it as required. But like we had mentioned earlier, dynamically expanding disk, it's certainly not going to take all that disk space right away, which is a good thing because I'm not so sure my host has that available. And so local disk, I'm going to go underneath users, pub size. I know it's hard to read because it's kind of grayed out, but see, it's very, very small. Until I start using it, then it'll have along the way. If I want to make a new virtual, the wizard's going to pop up and guide us through this process and let us know that we can create VHDs or VHDXs. And we talked about these a little bit in the first module of this course. Now, a VHD supports older styled VMs like from 2008 R2, but there are some restrictions in its size, as you can see here. The new format is VHDX, but you need to have this on running server 2012 are needed. And we'll talk more about dynamic for right now. Also, you have some other disk while I'm here. Something I'm going to cancel out of this. In the last module, we created but there are some restrictions in its size, as you can see here. The new format is VHDX, but you need to have this on running server 2012 R2. It supports a much larger size, up to 64 terabytes, and as it points out, is more resilient to power failures. Now, you can convert these, and I'm going to browse out to the disk that I just format that disk and get it all set up in computer management, and we'll take a look at that as well. Another type of disk to create, as you saw, was a dynamic. So let's go back into a hard disk here, and let's hit next. And we're going to use a VHDX, and here's the default setting. And I want you to notice that when I came here, default shows dynamically expanding. Now, a dynamically expanding disk conserves the space on your physical host. In other words, we're not allocating all of that disk space right away. We're going to allow this to gradually grow. You may not know exactly how much disk space you need, so this will allocate it as required. But like we had mentioned earlier, Gen 2, there's its startup memory and its network, but take a look at the default option when it comes up to creating a virtual disk. It's going to click next, and now it's DX. Let's go ahead and start. Size means that when we create this, it's going to partition out the disk space. So if we say we want 10 gigs, it's going to take up 10 gigs. And that's opposed to dynamically expanding, where we can say, you know, we want this to grow to a size of 150 gigs, but it's not going to start out at that. It's going to gradually grow up as space is needed. And we'll talk more about dynamic. Now, we're going to start with a fixed disk size, and the reasons that you might want to use a fixed disk size is, look here, I can go to the SCSI controller.
Content. I've already brought up the 70-412